You're listening to the Berks Weekly Podcast. My name is Jason Hugg, and today my guest is Marc Goldstein. Marc, before we kind of get into the nonprofit and everything, let's talk a little bit about you and who you are for the people who don't know who Marc Goldstein is.
Well, some people may not want to know, but in a nutshell, I'm from Berks County. I was born and raised here in the Mount Penn area. My dad had a store downtown Reading, so we were always in Reading as a kid, as a child. So love the city, and it's really who I am. I've been in the community my whole life. Worked here, lived here, in the surrounding areas, and so Reading's my home, and so. It's really nothing else too exciting about me other than I work and. I have two young children, well, not young children anymore. They're in their 20s and on their own. So no, it's really it about me in a nutshell.
Oh.
So, yeah, sweet and simple.
So then tell us why Blankets of Hope, how you got started into it.
Yeah, so 10 years ago, there was a lot of negative news in the city. The newspaper, the TV, it was just how poor Reading was and all that. And at the time, I'm in the promotional products business. So I've been doing that for 27 years. And
have people who don't explain a little bit of promotional products.
Yeah, so promotional products. So what I do is I sell the knickknacks, pens, mugs, shirts, apparel. And I've been doing that for 27 years. And at the time, I had my own business. And one of my customers bought 500 of these blankets that ultimately we started donating, but they bought them for their use to give out, to embroider for their employee gifts. And with that information and reading all the negative news in the city, I was wondering if there was a need for these blankets.
Okay.
And that's kind of how the idea started. And I spoke with the manufacturer, and I mentioned, I asked if we started a nonprofit, would they sell to us directly? And they were like, yeah, we can do that. I called to the city of Reading, Salvation Army, because I didn't know what the need was. I didn't know anything about homelessness.
What time frame was this?
It was December of 2011.
Okay.
So, 10 years ago. And the Salvation Army put me in touch with Sharon Parker, who at the time ran the Coalition to End Homelessness. And I told her about the blanket. I showed her the blanket, and she thought it was a great idea. She said there was probably a very much of a need. And she reached out via email to several organizations, and 5 of them got back to her: Hope Rescue Mission, Opportunity House, Mary Shelter, Berks Counseling, and YMCA.
Okay.
And at that point, we've identified that there was a need with her help, and we just I went to a couple buddies of mine that I went to high school with, and I said, I have this idea, what do you think? And they're like, let's go for it. And so we created the nonprofit, Blankets of Hope at the time. And I donated $50. My dad donated some money. And that's really how we did it. And then we went on social media. And that's really how we started and how we grew, all through social media, through Facebook and that. But in January of 2012, the Reading Eagle did a really nice article on us. With John Hart, I think it was John Hart at the time, with the Hope Rescue Mission, and that it really helped take us off. I mean, people really, it was a nice article. It was half the page on the inside, and then we started getting donations. So we, at the time, we would ship the blankets from the manufacturer right to the coalition.
Oh, okay.
And the boxes are very big. And she's like, we just can't handle it anymore. And I said, well, that's not a problem, because put me in touch with the nonprofit, with the homeless shelters. And the idea is the blankets were $5. So then that's to ship direct. So we don't warehouse anything.
Right.
And so the idea then was a $5 bill equals a blanket. And we can ship it right from our distributor directly to Mary Shelter or Hope Rescue Mission, eliminating all the overhead.
Right.
And we were able to do that. And then over the years, as we're doing the blankets, it became cancer patients and hospice patients and animal rescues and law enforcement. So the blanket the idea
Now
of
it's
the
just
blanket,
people reaching out.
right, reaching out, and as we started to really understand what the needs were for these blankets, it created a much bigger picture than we ever thought, and the need that we we didn't realize that someone who's going through cancer treatment, a lot of times the hospitals are just giving them like a white starch blanket. So
Yeah, so you brought a blanket.
yeah, so we brought and oh, here goes my phone.
Well, you didn't need that anyway, right?
No, I didn't need that. So, but this is the fleece blanket, and at the time we started with navy.
Yeah, it's a nice.
You can wash it, you can dry it. It's 50 by 60 size wise, perfect throw blanket. And when we started with our first cancer center was CHOP Hospital. We were doing a fundraiser with Klingers, who did a lot for CHOP. And so when we started with CHOP back probably 8-9 years ago, we started with colorful blankets. So we realized that when with a lot of the cancer patients, giving them something bright and vibrant, so purple, red. So the navy blankets that we were doing were originally for the homeless shelters. It was just a nice color for a lot of the shelters we talked to said it was a nice neutral color just to have. So we always used that for the homeless shelters. But for the cancer patients or hospice patients, my dad was on hospice. So that again, through that process we realized that hospice patients, when they're going through it, it's nice for them to have something that's soft and that they can hold on to and things like that. Exeter Police Force was the first department to ask for blankets in the back of their vehicle. They're the first to respond.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, they're the first to respond to an accident or a domestic situation. So we were able to start. So they currently still have their the blankets they call up and they ask for.
Any other departments do that?
Or? We've had Why Missing, Shillington, Sinking Spring. So we had several over the years. Local law enforcement, a few fire departments that we've helped over the years, same way. So the blankets have really just expanded, Animal Rescue League, Berks Humane, so even the animals. We even have a smaller one for the smaller dogs and cats, baby blankets. We've helped like Toys for Tots. We've worked for, a lot of times, Dot at Classic Harley, who did a lot with the Toys for Tots, the babies really don't have... There's nothing really to give the babies, so we help them with baby blankets. So the whole blanket idea really grew. We've been doing this 10 years, so we've donated over 71,000 blankets in 10 years, mainly Berks County. The nice thing is we receive donations, monetary donations from outside of Berks County. We can ship the blankets to that location.
Oh, okay.
So a couple months ago, someone sent us $700 from Florida. It was a random donation through our website. So I Googled homeless shelters in that part of Florida, called one up that asked if they had a need, and then when we sent our thank you letter to that person, we were able to let them know that their monetary donation, we were able to send blankets to an organization in there, and they had no idea. They just randomly sent us a donation, and we decided instead of using it for Berks County, to use it for
their community.
Right, like I said.
Now, your nonprofit is a little bit different than the typical nonprofit. You spoke to me about this before, but I'm not sure how much the community really knows about this. That it's how did you describe it? It's no fee or not
right. So
no administration.
Well, right. So in the beginning, we could say we had no administrative costs. Now, we do have, as a 501c3 and having a board, we're required to have insurance.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, but having said that...
Well, in general, I mean, just tell me about how that, why that was so important to you.
So, well, in general, even our insurance is paid for by the board members. So 100% of every dollar that comes in goes to the cause. I have no salary. There's no, we have myself and eight other board members. There's no salaries. Again, the insurance is paid for by the board members. I think it's in the way we created the template was we have no building. There's no office space. There's no rent, electric, things like that. We don't warehouse anything. So in the business as I mentioned, in the pen business or all the knick-knack business, when I sell you a pen, we ship it from the manufacturer right to you, so it eliminates all the overhead. And I wanted to take that same concept with the blankets, because the manufacturer was willing to ship the blankets directly to wherever we asked them to ship it to. And in 10 years, we've been able to maintain that 100% of every dollar that comes in goes directly to purchasing blankets, now beds, and even the cribs. So it's very important to me, because I want to be different. I am different, but based on the work the business that I've been in for 27 years, I've just taken that same concept and took it over to how we run the nonprofit. And I think it's very important because a blanket doesn't cost much. So, for a little bit of money, someone can actually make help. That dollar can make an impact. And the other thing is, we can show a donor that their donation is making a difference within 48 to 72 hours, because I can take a $100 donation. Now, the blankets have since gone up in price over the last year.
Okay.
But, so they're not $5 anymore. They're $6.50.
Oh, wow.
But it's still a great value.
$5 for
$5 for up until like a year ago.
Okay.
And the boxes are very big. So most of the cost of that, the reason it went up is really just the shipping part of it. I mean, shipping's expensive. So it still costs us $6.50, which is still very good value for a really good quality blanket.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we can't say $5 equals a blanket anymore, but the manufacturer was actually kind of upset. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel, I know that's what your model is." And I'm like, at the end of the day, it's about making sure the blanket,
recently, so
we the fact that in 10 years it took the price to go up is pretty incredible.
Yeah, because it was $5 the whole
$5
time.
the whole time. So
that is pretty impressive.
It is. And so, but yeah, when someone makes a monetary donation, if there's an immediate need, we can turn that around right away. So the other thing is making it an immediate impact. And that's also very important. So 100% of every dollar that comes in goes right to the cause and is able to make an immediate impact. And we're able to show that to someone. And when you can show that and say, here, this is what happened, and you can show them the process, it's just a different way for us to be able to do it. There's really no reason for us to have those additional costs, because it's a very simple idea with a concept that I've been doing for the last 27 years in the business I'm in. So that's worked out really well, and we've been able to maintain that. We have our treasurer's a CPA, and we have another accountant who does our taxes. So it's really nice to, again, our books are really transparent. I mean, it's as simple as can be. And actually, we even have 3 checking accounts, because we have a golf tournament, a chili event. So with those events, obviously there's sponsorships and there's some cost, but it's able to keep that separate from the general donations.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it's very, so we have a general account, and then we have our golf account, and then our chili account, and then that way everything is I mean, it just, the books are real easy. It sounds there's no mixing of money, and again, having a CPA helps, but it's still it's versus having one checking account for everything.
Right.
It really, like I said, I'm very strict in
everything's itemized and categorized.
Yeah, that we know when the money comes in, and obviously there's times that we get cash, and as soon as someone I don't know, several months ago, someone's like, they saw me, it's like, here's $10. The first thing I'm doing is texting one of my board members or 2 of my board members, by the way, I just received cash. So that way, there better be a deposit for that amount of cash. So it's something that I'm proud of, and we've been able to maintain over 10 years that same concept. I mean, if we need shirts or things, we just pay out of our pocket.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. The board understands And honestly, it's the insurance ends up coming out to $40 a year. So if a board member can't afford $40 a year, probably shouldn't be on the board.
Well, so you said you do events. Just briefly,
Yeah.
what events you do? Tell us a little bit about that.
So we do two major fundraisers a year. We do our chili event with Chef Tim and Redner's. That just ended. We do that right before the Super Bowl. This year, I think it was our 7th year. We make 3 tons of chili, and that is tons.
And that's upped over the years, right?
That's yeah. I mean, last year, the last couple of years, it's been like 2 to 3 tons.
I believe it was 2 last time.
Yeah, 2 and 2. I mean, it's pretty much the same amount. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of chili.
Oh, either way,
It's a lot of chili.
And when you see that much,
and and last year with the pandemic, we were able to, we couldn't be inside like the Redner's locations. We were outside, and we still netted about $30,000 from that event.
Oh, wow.
This year, things opened up a little bit more, and we were able to. Our final totals, we reached 34,000 that we netted from the chili event, which is really good for an organization for what we do and how we do it. So that's our biggest fundraiser.
And that's sold throughout basically the region.
In Berks, there's like every corner of Berks County has. I mean, we have like 17 locations from Hamburg to Douglasville to Sinking Spring to Exeter to the city. I mean, you name it.
And that's all basically either as a weekend or one day.
One day, yeah.
Okay.
It's basically the Saturday before the Super Bowl. And then there are some locations that will sell it, like bench warmers will have chili for the week or things like that, places like that. But at our day of the event, we're at, Classic Harley, we're at the different Redners, kind of like selling Girl Scout cookies. We're selling chili. And we book it right during the cookie season, so we kind of kick the Girl Scouts out for one day, get your chili and
across the different sides.
Right, yeah. One year we actually were both there at the same time. Chili, and it worked out pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Get your chili, get your cookies, And then in the summer we run a golf experience. Our golf event is a little different as far as it still makes money, but we have a lot of local vendors come to the golf course, a lot of food vendors, and so we call it an experience. It's not a golf tournament. It's a long day, but we sell out before we can even advertise it. So that's our other major fundraiser, and we'll raise anywhere from 14,000 18,000 from that. But we give a lot. We give the golfers the experience, because at the end of the day, I want those sponsors to give to us later. So we give them a good experience. You're not trying to make all your money in the golf tournament, but you give them a good experience, something that's fun. We have a lot of local businesses come out who are on the golf course all day, serving up food and drink, and again, it allows the sponsors to see some of the other businesses that we're working with. And they're giving their time on a Friday. Restaurants are still coming out on a Friday to be at our golf tournament. So it says a lot for them to give up their time, and we do compensate them for that time, especially during the pandemic when, things were, you just couldn't donate. A lot of the restaurants couldn't just say, we're going to donate 6 hours of time and all the food and drink. So we made it a point during the pandemic to reach and before any problems, just to give them some financial compensation.
So besides events, you've expanded into other items as well.
Yeah,
other than blankets.
So
I think the beds were the next thing. Right?
Yeah, so 2 years ago, about 3 years ago, one of our board members, Bill Foreman, he must have come across a family that was the kids were sleeping on the floor, and he did some homework on it, and he's like, we really got to do something about beds. Because there's too many children sleeping on the floor. And I'm like, okay, that's a great idea, but where are we warehousing? Who's delivering? We don't have, we all 9 of us on our board, we all work. And so how do we don't have a warehouse. So it took me about a year. And I was talking to Chris Facera over at Facera's Furniture, and I've known Chris a long time, and I was like, hey, if I were to buy twin beds from you, what's the best price you can give us on a box spring and a mattress? And and logistically, can you deliver, or how many do we have to buy, and so forth. So a couple of weeks, he calls me back and he said, well, we have a manufacturer in New Jersey who's been trying to sell us their beds. And he's willing to sell us the beds. And so Facers was like, your price at the time, I think, was $135 or $135 for the mattress and the box spring. Really good quality. And he's like, and I said, well, okay, that's great. If we buy them, will you warehouse them? He's like, yeah, we can warehouse them. We have big enough space. And I said, okay. So after the warehouse, can you deliver them? He's like, yeah, we should be. I mean, because they don't take up a lot of room in the truck. So I'm like, okay, so now we have that part. Now I need to really identify what the need is. And I was introduced to the Life House, which is over on 8th, right between Walnut and Washington. And the Life House works a lot with children, youth, and service.
Okay.
And I was talking to Robin over there, and she mentioned that beds are a huge need, because even getting a gently used bed is almost impossible, let alone a new bed. And when
why?
It just, there's not.
Oh, just
there's none. I mean,
yeah.
It's just, they're very hard to come by. And that's a good question. Why? I mean, but people don't really get, when they get rid of beds, they don't really know where to donate.
Oh, yeah.
A bed too, especially if it's used, even if it's gently used. So she said for a child to go back into a home, they're required to have a bed. And I think even in the foster care system, for a child to go into a home, they have to have a bed. So we're like, okay, that's definitely a need, and they've helped us identify that. And then we talk with I talked with Mindy over at Safe Berks. So when a family is coming into their shelter, they've left everything behind. So now they're getting ready to go back on to, move into their own apartment, a house as a transition. Safe Berks has to furnish and help them get, the microwaves and the refrigerator and all that stuff for an apartment or house, beds included. So we've identified that, okay, there's a need for these beds. They can use them. And that's one less thing they have to worry about. Olive Boys and Girls Club. Chris Winters and I talked about when we started this program, that they can identify the children that are coming there that are couch surfing or sleeping on the floor. Reading School District, Leanne Eckenrode. She's the homeless liaison or social worker up there. They can identify the children through their social workers or school nurses that are either couch surfing or sleeping on the floor. So once we knew and found that there was a major need for those transitioning, then the bed program really made sense. And with Facera's warehousing and delivering the beds free of charge, it was just, it's unbelievable. I mean, so what happens is Safe Berks, they just emailed me the other day. They emailed me the name, address, and phone number of the recipient of the bed. I pass that on to Facera's, and Facera's calls that person as if they bought the bed from them.
Oh, okay.
Sets up a delivery free of charge, no different than if you and I went in and bought furniture from them. And it makes that transition as if that person, it just gives them a good feeling that, okay, and they're setting up the delivery.
They're handling all the logistics.
Exactly. So, and in 2 years that we've started this program, we've donated 500 beds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Well, that's the next thing I was going to ask you, because discussing different youth and all these different needs. I mean, how many?
Yeah,
that's quite a bit.
It's a lot, and
a lot more than I would have thought.
Right,
Yeah.
but the other thing that we're realizing in this process is you have concern. So again, foster care. You have any of the school districts. It's not just a city issue. There are children in Governor Mifflin, Wilson, Exeter who are couch surfing. So getting these administrators and the people, when you tell them, hey, we have beds for you. You just need to let us know when you identify, and put the egos aside and saying there's no. If you've identified there's a child couch surfing, and you're going to get a free bed, then reach out to us and let us know, and then we will set that up.
And they've been very receptive to that.
Yeah, there's
okay.
It's like pulling. Well, it is. It's like, okay, there's a service out there, but I think some of the non-city schools tend to. I mean, it's kind of an old way of thinking. And I know I talked to an old superintendent from Exeter from years ago, recently, because we helped a child in Exeter through the Education Foundation, who identified a child needing a bed. And he's like, yeah, getting the administrator, because you think it's a poverty issue. There's no poverty in Governor Mifflin or Wilson there's poverty everywhere.
Right.
In Kutztown. It just is. And when there are resources out there, whether it's beds or something else, you should be taking advantage of that to help your students. And so I worked with Red Meg and at Emmanuel UCC, and her and I have had some frustration with that in trying to, say, hey,
that is interesting. Yeah,
and it is interesting, and I get it, but it's an old way of thinking that today, especially now after the pandemic, but that way of thinking shouldn't be. And again, everything is all in private anyway. So if you know it, nothing's being just. If there's a child that you've identified, let's just help the child.
Right.
The status doesn't matter of what people think, the different school districts. But I know. I mean, it is. Yeah. So the fact that sometimes I have to we have to beg.
Oh wow.
To give away a free bed to when we do have beds available, and there's. If it's been identified that a child is sleeping on the floor or couch surfing, why aren't we? Yeah, right. So we're working. Yeah,
I guess that's kind of tough on your end, because there's not much you can do if you don't have any real contact or anything.
Right. Well, yeah. So it's
yeah.
educating and trying to get in front. And I think because it is new, and the idea, I mean, still, but 500 beds in 2 years isn't new anymore. And so. It's interesting, and it's a little frustrating at some point, but just like with the blankets, we've been doing this for 10 years. It's a gradual growth. It's just keep letting it out there. Being on a show like this to share, hopefully that someone then sees, and so it's
them out there.
Them out there. So and the other. Beds is the other organization that we've helped tremendously with beds is veterans.
Okay.
So there's up in Stouchburg, there's a veterans organization. They kind of keep quiet, and I was introduced to them by Alice Moyer of Little Acts of Love, and we had already donated 2 brand new beds before the pandemic to them. It houses about 15 to 19 veterans full-time under long-term care. And so after I think it was in October or November, we finally were able to say, hey, listen, we want to give the rest of the veterans beds. So we took 17 more beds to those vets that are staying there. And as they're lining up outside, the beds, as we're lining them up, and they're taking out the old beds, one of the vets came down, a Vietnam vet, and he's chatting with us. And he was explaining about his old bed, how, he just kept rolling out it because it was so bad, the mattress. And it's probably another podcast, but a veteran should not be worrying about the mattress, especially, So the fact is, it was nice to have friends who are vets. My dad was World War II vet, to be able to make sure that now they have a brand new bed that's theirs, and they're like, and hopefully you get a better night's rest. I know when we did the 2 beds prior, the story that they shared with us is they couldn't find the gentleman. They're like wondering where he is, and they finally go to his room, and he's still laying in his bed. They're like, "Where have you been?" He's like, "I haven't slept this great in so long. I'm not leaving this bed." So we've identified. I work with another veteran organization, and there was a veteran in Birdsboro where the house was being condemned, and so they put him into a hotel. The community got together, we fixed up the home, and then they asked if we could have a bed. Of course, I mean, work with Veterans Making a Difference, with Liz and Doug, if they identify any veterans who need a bed. So it's but the biggest thing about the beds, though, there has to be there has to be transition. They had to be transitioning into a new for them a new place of living. So that, and it's theirs. Mary's Shelter recently opened up a new bottom part for teens. They did 20 rooms. We were able to get them 20 beds.
Okay.
And the idea for that program is those teens are supposed to be there up to 18 months, I think. When that teen leaves, they take the bed with them.
Oh, okay.
Because they're going to need it anyways.
Right, right.
And then we'll just put a new bed in, because again, they shouldn't be a used bed. They're going to go to hopefully, a home or apartment, and they're going to need a bed anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
So it's theirs. Let them take it, and then we'll just replace it. So that's something that we've done with Mary's Shelter. So we've identified that there is a need for brand new beds. A friend of mine is a school nurse in Muhlenberg. There's a family that had to move out of the area due to domestic situation. Families left everything behind. Now, Faceres doesn't deliver up to like the Lancaster, Allentown region, but we were able to make sure that the 5 beds were delivered to. There were people that were going to help move them, and so we were able to get, in that situation, this family for 5 beds. And with the beds, we supply twin sheets, mattress cover, pillow.
Yeah, so it's not
2
just the bed
sizes of the
itself.
blankets. So it's everything, but no frames, but it's everything. And we work with Boscov's and Bed Bath and Beyond, tongue twister, and they've helped us. When we purchase, and to make sure that we have the inventory to. So when every bed is delivered by Faceres, then I can take the bedding and give it to the social worker, who can give it to the family. So 500 beds. The manufacturer, when we buy the beds, gives us 1 free for every 5 we buy. And Faceres passes that along. Beds have obviously gone up as well. So our total cost for a bed complete right now is running us about $165 to $180, which is still a phenomenal
What was it before?
price.
Just curious.
A little, it was still like $160, $170. So with the bedding,
okay.
so it's still $180, but it went up a little bit. But when you add that free bed in there, that
And they're
that
still
helps.
doing the free bed too.
They're still
Okay.
giving the 1 free bed for every 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the manufacturer, the owner of it is one of 8 children, so he kind of gets what we were doing. So, and they're made in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So made in Jersey. He actually, for a twin bed, there's not much to upgrade quality wise, but he has. He's made sure that the quality of the beds are really nice. He was telling, so Chris is like, he really upgraded the beds for us. And so that's been our bed program for 2 years.
Wow.
And it's, and there's still
A lot more than.
and there's a major, and there's still, we know that there's a lot more folks out there, whether they're veterans or a child or, young adult, who there's a need out there.
And just before we went on here, you also mentioned cribs as well.
That's
a new thing?
so that's a new thing. So I'm going to back up a little bit about when we started Blankets of Hope. and set up the corporation. Originally, it was set up just to do blankets. And about 6 months in, I talked with Mike Doutrick, who's one of my board members and best friends. And I'm like, we really should change our articles of incorporation, just in case, to make it more lax. Like I said, we should make it more broad, that we can donate anything based or depending on the circumstances, not knowing what our future will be. And he's like, okay, so we dished out another $175 to redo our articles of incorporation. And what that allowed was, even during the pandemic, we were able to get masks.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
And yeah. So we were able to, because
that was really early on.
That was, it was right at the start. So
Yeah.
I could say, actually, what's it, March 30th?
Yes.
So actually, March 30th, 2 years ago, which was, I think, a Friday, I reached out to my board via text. I said, listen, we have an extra $5,000 in our account. I can get masks through my work at a great price. Reading Hospital, St. Joe's, and Berks Community Health Center could use masks. I think we should do it. We shouldn't ask for any donations, because
Yeah, and back then masks weren't readily available.
oh, it wasn't.
Now.
You well, right? You could.
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
really one of the few that could get it, and that's why we did this. And in 10 minutes, all the board members got back to me and said approved. And during that time, it was on a Friday, and I was going to do a post on Facebook to share. Wasn't going to ask for money, but Tompkins Viss Bank caught wind, said they'll give us a donation. And later that evening, like 9, 10 o'clock, I get a call from Riverfront Credit Union. It's like, hey, we just saw your Facebook post. We'll give you some money. So we started out ready to donate 13,000 masks. And by the end of the night, that Friday night, when I was ready to email my purchase order to unfortunately, to China for where we were getting them, we were at 25,000 masks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then we were able to get a grant from the United Way. So overall, during the pandemic, we were able to donate 85,000 disposable masks.
Wow.
And then, so changing our articles of incorporation allowed us, as a nonprofit, to do things as long as the donors are aware. We donate socks. We've probably over the last 10 years have donated like 4,000 pairs of socks.
Oh, okay.
I get them for like $1.50 a pair to $2 a pair for a really nice
Oh,
quality
what
sock.
type of sock?
Sweat sock.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But I have a really good source in New York, and so there are times that if I see a sock drive, I'll be like, oh, we'll send you 300 more socks or something. Or we've done socks for veterans. Or so we've been able to do a lot of things. And so that made sense for the bed program. And then Adeline Rose Foundation, wonderful people, reached out to us. One of their board members is a social worker for a Reading School District. So they knew about the beds, they knew about the blankets. And they were telling us about their sleep initiative with safety in cribs. And I'm still learning about this whole project. But I said, well, that seems to be worthy. And we had a meeting with them, with one of our board members, and they were going to initiate it last December. And so we said, you know what, we'll donate enough for 12 cribs. We'll donate 6 back to them, and then 6 for us that we'll figure out once we know what their need is. And we announced that in January. We got them in recently. They brought in, I think, like 30. They had an organization that they were helping with that. And we gave 6 to Mary's Shelter initially. The other 6 that we had given to them, they gave back to us because we had identified another group that we're holding on to them for right now. And with the crib program, there's a sleep sack that comes with it. It's it's a Halo crib. They can start, it zips up so they can start when they're like just born, and then eventually
it has
the platform. Yeah. And I think total with shipping, they're like $85, which is an unbelievable price. But it
with shipping,
yeah, and thankfully Facera's allowed us to ship it to them, because it's a 1,000-pound pallet. So go to their house, they're like, yeah. So Facera's,
again, you have no places for storage, and that's not the whole
right. So Facera's was nice to at least allow the delivery to go there, and then we went there a couple Saturdays ago. They took what they were getting, we took what ours. But we are finding that, so what we've discussed, our board has discussed that we're going to continue the program for them. They're not designed for their nonprofit. You can look them up because I don't want to explain what they do the wrong way, but Allen Rose Foundation, so it's ADALYN Rose Foundation. They do amazing things for parents who have lost a child or who, and so the crib program, even though it helps prevent things from happening, in doing this, in the sleep initiative, it's not really their mission, but it fits with ours.
Right.
And so we told them with their, I said, listen, we'll definitely keep running with it. It works with us, and with your permission, and we'll do it. And they'll still support us. So with the Cribette, they give a book in Spanish or English and a pamphlet.
Oh, okay.
And so educational wise, and so we're kicking. We're going to keep moving with that. But we've identified with just Mary Shelters, and there's another organization that reached out that there's a need for the cribs. To someone that whether it's a pregnant teen or a young family who, whatever the circumstances, if it's going to make sure that child grows up, nothing tragic happens, then it works with us. And again, for Sarah's is willing to let us bring them in, and then I can, and then with the cribs, I've taken, I had to thank Emmanuel UCC Church, because down their one hallway are my pillows, are the, some of the cribs. So and I live in Shillington, so it's convenient. So some of that stuff is there that we need to, the sheets and things that we have to kind of warehouse. But we have a lot of amazing community partners. It's not always about dollars and cents. It's about being creative to say, hey, we need a little space. But yeah, so now we're going to do, so Blankets of Hope has...
Yeah, well, I was going to say that the trend seems to be that you're really identifying, and over the years have identified a lot of the different needs in different areas in the community, and kind of responding to that by seeing what you can source and how you can kind of match, connect, manufacturers to those people who are in need.
Correct.
So what does the future look like? What other things are down the road? Because obviously there's quite a bit.
Yeah, and anything we do, and this is actually one of the most important things, and to be able to say that we've done this for 10 years.
Yeah.
The template...
I didn't realize it was quite 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's over 10 years. So the idea of creating a template and making sure that template stays consistent with your mission. And the fact that we've been able to do that for 10 years, just... and then be able to utilize the knowledge we have in certain resources that we're able to get with it is so. I can say that does, when I look at that, I go, yeah, okay, that's pretty good. I mean, that I will say, to be able to do that, and we can only function. We have terms with our blanket manufacturer, and even Halo said that they would give us 30-day terms, but I don't need terms because we can't purchase anything unless we have money. So if we have no money, then we just can't do anything, and it is what it is. But so we can't extend ourselves. So that template is very important to maintain, and our growth is very important. That we're able to grow, but still within how we create. So to do it slowly and gradually grow, I'd rather be doing this I'd rather not be doing it at all. But if we have the ability, and there is an issue, is a need, our sustainability to keep helping is there. Now, would I like to help those in Lancaster and Allentown? If we could. And at some point I thought we could expand, and we have now blankets we can ship anywhere. I work with an organization in Connecticut where they're kind of like a Rotary Club.
Oh, okay.
I forget the name of it, but they'll send us monetary donation. We send the blankets up there, and they're working the blankets in with their socks and whatever they do up there. They want to do the beds next, but they have to be able to take like 20 beds at a time. But the bed manufacturer is willing to ship them the beds, but they need to have the space in the room. So we're slowly can expand outside of Berks County, but at the same time,
That's not really the focus.
it's
though.
not the
Yeah.
focus. The focus is that, and there is such a need.
Yeah, you're still working on the
right.
need
The
here.
fact is that 500 beds is not. I mean, the fact is, we could be donating more than 500 beds. So, yeah. So it's keeping identifying and working with businesses like Viceras, working with Emmanuel UCC, and then working with the other nonprofits like all of it's in Safe Berks. There are times where they'll get us a monetary donation when it's sent to them for specifically beds. So sometimes we're able to get help without the public, but if someone knows about the program and they're sending them money specifically for beds, then they're just here's the money, we need more beds. And so they understand. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about collaborating. And
There's been a lot of connections.
a lot of connections, and working together and finding out what resources we all have. There's so many great nonprofits here in Berks County.
Oh, yeah.
Who do so many wonderful things, and when we can, it's one of the things that I love about Chris Winters over at Olivets is that when we can work together, we're all jockeying for money. I get it. Every nonprofit is obviously needs money to be able to operate, but we have all the different. Each of you have a different resource that is helping the same people. Why aren't we working together?
Right.
On a lot of projects, and I think that's trying to break that barrier. And I've seen it. I've seen a lot of positives. I've learned a lot in 10 years because I knew nothing about anything about homelessness and nothing about running a nonprofit. I mean, I knew nothing, and I'm still learning. And we're still doing things. So
That's really amazing. I mean, I knew some, if not most of this, but there's a lot in here that I didn't really. And the fact that you've been doing this for 10 years, that's very impressive. So for people who want to reach out to you, they want to either collaborate, donate, or I don't know, do something else. How do they reach? How do they find you?
So the best way to reach out to me is our phone number by text or call me. I'm up almost 24 hours a day. And that's 610-223-8085. However, a great way to reach out is on Facebook. It's Blankets of Hope -Berks, or go to my personal page. I do a lot there. And then our website, which is actually updated now, thanks to Gammy. It's blanketsofhopepa.org. And that has a lot of the information on. It doesn't have the cribs on there, but it does have the beds on there now. It has some other information. You can donate from there. There's 3 or 4 different ways to get a hold of me. And like I said, if we don't, so when it comes to the beds, we don't deal directly with the public. That is something important. Occasionally, someone will say, "Oh, I hear you give beds." Well, we need to work with the social workers, with the organizations, with any of our programs. Really.
And you're talking about for receiving.
For receiving, correct. For receiving.
But then if someone basically said, "I want to donate money to provide,"
and they can make a donation specific, and we've had that before. When we kicked off the bed program 2 years ago, there were some individual who's like, "Hey, I specifically want my donation to go toward beds," and we can do that. So, and then when we send out our thank you letters, we let them know what the thank you letter went to. But yeah, I mean, it's it's nice to be able to tell someone that okay, thank you for your donation, and this is what it went to.
Right. Yeah. Directly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's and to be able to do that, so that concept has I think it's been very important, and I'm proud of my board for seeing that and understanding the mission. But they are not afraid to tell me sometimes that, no, you shouldn't be doing something or this or that. So, I mean, I like my board. They're not afraid to, again, that's why you have them. That's why you have a board. But, at the end of the day, but they do understand the basis of what the mission is and how we're set up and what we're trying to do. And that we can grow with other things as long as it fits that initial template that we created.
Right. Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank
this
you.
This is really amazing learning about Blankets of Hope and the more than 10 years of progress with this and helping out so many people in the community. Wow,
Yeah.
there's a lot to unpack.
Unpack. I like that. That's a good term. It is. So yeah, it's. But yeah, thank you, and thanks for having me on. It was great to see. I've seen you. I've seen you grow too.
Oh well, that's true. I think year 6.
Yeah,
total, I think, so
I
far,
remember one
almost.
of our first interviews was over at Why Missing.
Oh, that's
at
true.
One,
Yeah.
in front of I don't even know what buildings there, but I just remember it being in the parking lot with you and. You
I
taking
think it's the urgent care. The health urgent care now.
But at the time, it used to be like the
it was something
Halloween
else,
shop
yeah.
or something.
Oh yeah, right.
So, doing remote, like, hey, let's go somewhere to, because you didn't really have offices then.
Yeah, no, Well, I think we've changed a lot too here, so it's a whole different ball game now with everything I'm doing. But anyway, to wrap this up though, like I said, thank you so much for coming in. Though this is really great to hear about everything that you're doing and the continued work that you're going to be. I expect another 10, 11 years from now, right? You're going to keep doing this,
absolutely.
Right? So
As long as I'm breathing.
there you go.